More chilling testimony from the homicide trial of Paul DeWise. I'm Cody Boyer once again in Bozeman with the latest details.
And one call to help a husky dog turns into a find of many more neglected. How you might be able to help and find one that could be a match to be a part of your family. Good morning. Coming up to 6:30 this morning on a Tuesday. Chet Lehman and Donna Kelly with you, enjoying your company, and the weather is making it a little bit nicer.
It's not too bad. Yeah, we had about average temperatures yesterday. It's going to be a little warmer than that today. Outside right now, as we take a look at our viewing area, you can see temperatures kind of all over the board, ranging from mid-teens in Dillon all the way up into the mid-30s in the Livingston area. So there is some breezy conditions out there. Seeing some winds in the Ennis area, as you would expect. Livingston, Big Timber, that same kind of direction. But all in all, it's not a bad day shaping up. We're talking about temperatures above the freezing mark today. That'll be the good news. With partly to mostly cloudy skies for Butte right at that freezing mark. That'll be our high today with a few clouds as we work our way into the evening. But winter will make a comeback, Donna, and I have the detailed forecast of that in 10 minutes.
All right, Chet, thank you. A surprising revelation in the homicide trial of Joseph Paul DeWise. In the return to witness testimony, investigators revealed that they found the murder weapon and a possible connection to the husband of the woman who was killed. MTN's Cody Boyer is following this case closely from the Law and Justice Center.
Up until this point, detectives have been quiet about whatever happened to the weapon that had been used to shoot and kill Lauren DeWise, Paul DeWise's wife. Now, today, detectives say they had discovered the .22 caliber Ruger pistol and a serial number that linked DeWise to purchasing it.
She sustained, I believe there were 7 different gunshot wound injuries from at least 4 different bullets.
On the night of January 7th, 2018, Lauren DeWise was found dead in her bed inside a Belgrade home, killed with what investigators say were .22 caliber bullets. Detectives walked through pages of chilling texts between Joseph Paul DeWise and Lauren, putting together a story about an abusive relationship leading up to her death and the joint shooting of housemate Ashley Van Hemert. But detectives say the evidence was disposed of, including the gun. Until today. Detective Sergeant Dustin Lensing says a couple walking near Trout Meadow Pond in Bozeman found the gun in there.
Can you tell from the records that have been provided when that firearm was purchased?
Yes.
Another bombshell in the form of recordings taken from DeWise's phone.
A recording on his phone of an altercation between him, Lauren, and I believe both of the children.
Including one that he says took a dark turn.
The defendant starts threatening her, threatening to kill her. He says very specifically, I think at least 5 times, I'm going to kill you.
The courtroom got to hear it themselves. Detective James Esper also testified, having been in the room with DeWise shortly after he was first brought in for questioning.
The person that came in ended up shooting.
Esper says DeWise's demeanor seemed rehearsed, calm, quiet, yet rocking in his chair. In Bozeman, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
According to court staff, Paul DeWise himself took the stand at the end of yesterday's proceedings. Staff say that he briefly discussed his history in the Army and talked about traveling with Lauren. He will be back on the stand today, and we will be there to keep you updated. The State Public Service Commission heard comments yesterday on Northwestern Energy's plan to provide electric power for its Montana customers over the next 20 years. But before the PSC session, renewable power advocates rallied outside the building in Helena, saying that Northwestern's plan has some big holes. Northwestern says it needs to build or acquire 800 megawatts of power in the next several years to serve its Montana customers, and that's twice the amount of power that it owns now. Protesters at the rally said the plan should include more wind, solar, or other renewable power, which is both cleaner and cheaper. They also questioned why the plan includes coal-fired power from Colstrip when the Colstrip plants could shut down during that 20-year period. Jeff Smith of the group 350 Montana said Northwestern is not revealing the detailed numbers or analysis that led it to rely on coal or gas-fired power. And Roxa Reller of the Northern Plains Resource Council said the company is resisting independently developed projects that could provide lower cost and reliable power.
As a regulated monopoly, it is guaranteed a reasonable profit, and it doesn't need to own everything in order to make a profit. But Northwestern Energy wants to make even bigger profits by owning everything, even if it's more expensive, and having the ratepayers foot the bill.
Northwestern Energy has this proprietary modeling that they're doing that seems to always reach the same conclusion, that they have to move toward fossil fuels. Let's have some transparency about how we spend $1 billion.
The PSC can only comment on Northwestern's plan, but it will decide whether to approve any individual power projects or contracts put forth by the company in the future. The Montana Lottery officially began taking applications this weekend for sports betting. Though the lottery says it has not received any applications just yet, the legislature approved sports betting back in May. The Montana Lottery Commission finalized the rules in November. The rules only allow sports betting at businesses with gambling operator licenses like taverns and casinos. Currently, around 1,400 businesses in the state qualify, and once operational, players will be able to create sports betting accounts, but they will only be able to place bets in person at a licensed business through a terminal or a connected mobile device. There is no firm start date for when sports betting will be available to the public. A holiday party is being held in Butte that seeks donations for Toys for Tots and other programs. The Dream Big Holiday Bash will be held at the Butte Civic Center today. Guests are encouraged to bring a toy that will be given to the Toys for Tots and Mining City Christmas programs. Volunteers at the Butte Marine Corps League were busy yesterday gathering those toys for the program that brings those gifts to needy children.
But this year is fantastic. We've gotten wonderful gifts, and I'm hoping that all the children are pleased and have a wonderful Christmas.
The Holiday Bash begins at 4 o'clock today and runs until 7. It is free and open to us all. The Bitterroot Humane Association is reaching out to the community for help after taking in dozens of abandoned huskies. The organization recently received a call about a husky that needed its leg amputated after it was shot. That phone call uncovered much more than just a few dogs in need of help, though. MTN's Connor McCauley shows us how the association is dealing with the new influx of huskies.
After 60 hours of trying to wrangle in these animals, the Bitterroot Humane Association now has over 30 new huskies that they're dealing with, which includes puppies. Now that's already added on top of the 17 dogs they have, all the cats, and 5 macaw birds that they recently added, meaning that they can use a little bit of the community's help this holiday season.
So a lot got dropped on our plate of what are we going to do, space, financially, just all in all being able to care for all of these animals.
Bitterroot Humane received a call about an injured dog, which over a course of several weeks led them to find adult huskies and their puppies neglected in the remote Bitterroot Mountains.
So it's not like we can just say we're going to send them all out to fosters, because we don't know, these are wild dogs now. So we have to be careful of what's your property look like. We don't think they'll be great with livestock. We don't think they'll be great with smaller animals. But we don't know, but we don't have the time and resources to actually sit down and work with these dogs to see where we can home them.
So while Bitterroot Humane preps these neglected dogs to find homes, you can still stop by and spend some time with them. Maybe you'll find your new best friend.
But we would definitely, if they come in and they want to spend a time with that dog, I would welcome that. That would make my heart happy, because then we know that they're spending that time, they're bonding with that dog, and then we can actually see the interaction day to day.
In the meantime, Bitterroot Humane is filled to capacity plus some, so they can use your help with donations.
Yes, that's the biggest thing right now. I think that volunteers that want to come in and start helping, clinics that want to help, rescues that are aware of us, if anybody wants to come help us at this point, for donations or time, that's something that we are needing the most right now.
Money, food, toys, blankets, or time, anything helps. In Hamilton, Connor McCauley, MTN News.
Important note here, though, due to some of the huskies being bred with wolves, they might need special accommodations. The Bitterroot Humane Association asks anyone who may be able to help, please do reach out. Customer service can be just as annoying as whatever you're calling about. Maybe you ended up on hold or you got transferred around to a bunch of different people. Customer service satisfaction has been holding steady around 20% for the last 4 decades. But one of the reasons may be in our approach.
There's something about wanting to express their rage to another human being that has them pick up the phone even though social media can be a more effective channel.
So Consumer Reports found that social media will more likely get you a faster and more satisfying resolution, but beware of fake accounts. Sometimes they contact those accounts with verified check marks. You want to check that. There's also a whole behind-the-scenes data collecting that goes on that could mean the difference between a good or bad customer service experience.
It is technologically possible and likely that companies are giving preferential treatment to the customers who spend most.
More people use Facebook over Twitter to reach out to a company with a complaint or a question. And I think it is kind of in your approach. You know, even if you're unhappy or things have gone wrong, if you rail at somebody, I don't think you're going to get what you want.
No, that honey vinegar thing, your approach will gather more flies with honey. I'm fascinated. I must be old. I've never thought about reaching out on social media to get satisfaction that way.
No, I haven't
I don't use
either.
it as a tool that way either.
Yeah, I think I vent to other friends more.
I look at food. That's what I look at on social media.
Right?
I didn't know. You could use it for other things.
Yeah.
Big day for me, Donna. I've learned all kinds of things. This is fantastic.
Yeah, well, so if you want to complain, it's okay, but you know, I think in a nice way.
Just present yourself a little nicer.
Right.
Remember, the person you're talking to, it isn't their fault.
Well,
they had
most
nothing
of the time,
to
that's
do
right.
most of the time. That's
right.
that's their job. So
right.
just chill a little.
Right. Thanks.
Remember that when you call complaining about the weather.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's not my fault.
Yeah, you're just the messenger for weather. That's an excellent point.
That's exactly right.
So I know that so many of us will remember this. It was one of the most viral challenges ever. Many of us participated. It's now up to the rest of us to carry on, and we'll tell you why.
Ahead on CBS this morning, we're also covering the articles of impeachment announcement, plus new information for job seekers and industries and areas of the U.S. with the biggest growth in hiring. Plus, we'll take you down to Sesame Street as the legendary children's show celebrates a Kennedy Center honor. We'll tell you how Big Bird Grover and their friends still inspire young minds. Seat 7.